What is up guys, Kane here, and in this video we're going to go over a battle and showcasing you what happens when you have a Rufio and he's jumping onto the enemy side of the field and doing nothing and just giving morale boost to the enemy team. So for most players and most PvP, quite a lot of players again, they are being told that Rufio is one of the most overpowered heroes and everybody has to use them. And like, I've beaten quite a lot of players, even up to close to 1 million core difference, and I'm not even using Rufio, and they are. And because they're using Rufio is like the reason I am winning the fights. Probably it is very hard to believe because yeah, Rufio should kill my backline, but instead I end up killing their entire field instead of that. So as we go on to, let's say, the damage charts, as you can see they have Rufio and he dealt 20 million damage. However, all of this damage is literally nullified or voided because of the ability of healing on my field, so most of that damage just got healed out and quite quickly. So let's inspect the items. Well, he doesn't have the gladiator set, but 95% of the players won't have a Drake gladiator set. Like, who would pick a gladiator set just to get one Rufio going instead of getting, let's say, a general set, which will make one of your archers more overpowered, and for the sake of recons, getting all ability levels +1 on Tortoise Mastery, Heavyweight, Feng Shui and whatever, as well as a rogue set on Bazrik to make him insanely overpowered, as well as his abilities like that. So keep in mind, my Bazrik does not do insane amounts of damage in some fights, and in other fights he is the top damage dealer by 2 or 3 times. So he has the potential to carry an entire fight just with the way I have built him. So going into checking the Rufio back again, so he has every melee attack reduces evade chance. This is not really good because you're going to be using the Rufio to attack the backline. Now, I'm not singling out this Rufio, there has been quite a few even with Drake sets that I have beaten. However, this guy was like 700,000 core higher or whatever, and he did some decent job, but it wasn't enough. So he has some abilities upgraded. His artifact is only 3 stars, so it's not as good as it can be. However, you will see what happens. The reduced damage taken wouldn't have done a lot for him where he has jumped. And he has the wave power at level 7, which is quite good and probably the best prism he can have. So summary, decent stats but nothing too overpowered, as again most players are not going to have this decked out because they're not high whales or whatever. So if you're facing somebody who has a good field, like a really good field, this is just a morale boost for most of the players. So his Rufio is on the right side, and as you can see I have Jax, I have Bazri, and I have Saizo somewhere close to here. And my other side has archers and Nora. So he has used Rufio, he jumped to my backline, he hit Jax, he hit Bazrik, and he hit the archers. Now as you can see, the Rufio is doing some work. Then the Rufio walks into my other archers and he's almost down. Now he went back to his circle, and I believe he's not yet dead, or he has died and he didn't provide the morale boost. Now in most other cases, just because my archers were controlled by, I think, Cleo's black hole, these archers didn't go into morale boost. Now what would happen if they would have? So if they would go into morale boost, usually I would notice that, and then I cast the Rakan Ale, and then they start shooting these fire arrows with 50% additional attack speed, or so the morale boost does. I'm not sure if it increases or whatever, depending on how much you have. But then my archers would have like 2.7 attacks per second, and like half of their damage is AoE based, and it can also reach the back line. So whenever the Rakan archers get a morale boost and you activate the piercing arrows, they just completely evaporate the entire field. Now keep in mind, Rakan archers don't do a lot of single target damage in the shape of, let's say, heroes going into the backline or gladiator heroes or whatever. They don't do as much damage as Deadeye's archers, like human archers or whatever. However, they have AoE damage. So if you're able to beat that Rufio and get a morale boost on Archon archers, they're going to skyrocket in damage. So for example, look, 67 million damage. Like even my Blade Masters got enough morale boost that they were the top damage dealers. As you can see, 35. And then the other one, which got CC too much, did 18 million. Now, as you can see, the archers on the enemy side, tier 15, top damage dealers, all of them. However, as you can see, they did a lot of damage, but almost nothing died on my field. No archers and only a few frontline units. Now, what does this mean? Like, they have done insane amounts of damage. Why is my field not dying? So as you can see, they have taken a decent amount of damage. Some of it was mitigated. So as you can see, the turtle is putting in insane amounts of work in terms of healing. The dragon is also putting insane amounts, same as Vega, who I accidentally made the artifact 2.5 stars, and then I just had to finish it to 3 stars, and she's proving to be pretty good with her Solantris. Virion, I have upgraded his artifact, the Astrarium, to 5 stars, but the front line on the right side was not losing damage, so the Astrarium would proc more heals. Usually, if that side is taking a lot of damage, then Virion is healing like 30 to 40 million. So the artifact is quite good, and as you can see, my Rakan army is also healing. Now, if you wonder where the hell my Rakans are getting this insane healing from, like you can see my Blade Masters and whatever, even Denji, honestly, the only thing that I could come up where they are receiving this healing from is the Denji ability called the Spring Ale. They recover health within 5 seconds after drinking the ale, and stamina increases the amount healed. Now, as you can see, my Denji has 210 stamina, so the heal increases accordingly. Now, I'm not entirely sure how the stamina affects the healing. It's really hard to gauge like these percentages that they get from the hero stats, but considering they're healing like friggin' 5 to 12 or sometimes even 20 million, that healing is quite a lot. And the thing is, my field is strictly based on outlasting the burst damage of the enemy and having my archers kill the enemy. Now again, you probably have seen my Rakan archers are really god awful. And if we go on to the stats, they don't have very good like critical hit damage stats, right? Because I'm not lucky with the equipments, and most of them are really average or even less than average. So you can see the attack speed is over 2.2 and it's pretty good. Then you have decent critical hit rate, but the critical hit damage is really bad. However, if we go into my Blade Masters, you can see that they're pretty decently decked out. The stats on them, they have 83% evasion, which I think it's quite important at this stage in the game. Not very late when like the army units have like friggin' 150 accuracy or whatever, but at the moment, due to imbues and stuff, the evasion is quite good. So we have critical hit resistance, which is not very good because, well, I don't have level 45 equipment yet. As you know, I'm not an insane like Whale or Kraken, so I have to upgrade this very slow. And majority of my event materials are going towards Dragon because I want to unlock the Draconic talents as soon as possible. And as you can see, physical resistance 72, magic resistance 65, so they're not also very good, but I kind of think that the evasion coupled with which imbue is yeah, increases the max level evade chance granted by protection to 60%. So with this one, I think it's quite good and you can reach some decent levels of evasion and eventually dodge some of that damage, as my frontline is taking insane amounts of damage but they're not like dying. So again, probably is a decent reason for why they're not taking it, but with the build that I currently have, I'm not insanely overpowered, but I'm able to beat quite a lot of VIP 15s, quite a lot of spenders, and you know, in this game you have to spend smart or you're just going to be, beaten and beaten quite easily. Now, these are not the only people that I have beaten on like the cross server or whatever, and as many people could say that, yeah, the cross server or whatever, it has like very bad people. So in my server, I have already dueled quite a lot of players. So if we go down the list, I have dueled this guy and I have beaten probably 30% of his army, like 40%, but he had tier 16 troops, both the front line and the back line. And he had the blue lich mages, which sort of is a huge counter to the Rakans, because Rakans are very weak and susceptible to magic damage, so pretty much the reason why he crushed my field. I haven't dueled these guys. This guy, he ran away like 20 times when we wanted to fight or whatever, so he didn't fight me. He probably knows I can beat him. I have beaten the rank 15 guy with more than half of my field, probably 80% of my field remaining. I know I can beat this guy with almost no losses whatsoever. I haven't dueled the rank 17 guy, haven't dueled 18, haven't dueled 19, but I'm pretty sure I can beat both of them. I haven't dueled this person, but it's Rakan level 45 and upgraded archers, so I haven't actually even seen the heroes or archers on her field, so I'm not entirely sure, but judging by the rank here, most likely I am able to beat her. I have beaten this guy as well. His archers are pretty decent, and I think I've lost like 20 to 30% of my army. And I believe this guy, he has swapped to Rakan after I crushed him entirely, and probably is VIP 15. And I've messaged him after that and even had like a joke or a laugh, and he said yeah, he swapped because I was able to beat him. And the others, I fought this rabbit's profile picture, also one with almost no casualties whatsoever. And the rest, I'm pretty sure they're very easy to beat. However, this guy on rank 34, he is quite decent. He has Castle 43, but he has tier 15 Lich Mages, which only unlock at Castle 45. And he was using the blue Lich Mages, which was countering me, and after like 8 fights or whatever, he was able to beat me once. So kudos to this guy, he's pretty good, and he's pretty good at swapping and changing formations and learning like the weaknesses of the enemy. He is most likely going to be one of the stronger average spenders in this game as, let's say, the time goes by. And after that, there's not too much to talk about. Like I said, this is not only the cross server tower where I am winning. My wins are based more on like the build that I have and the build I am looking forward to. So this is not like I'm telling you upgrade this one hero and you're going to win everything. my field is working in terms of like synergy, in terms of like working with one another, and the way I have placed my units, my army, and whatever, there's not, how can I say, most of my damage dealers and buffers are not in an insane one group that if, let's say, a Rufio would jump on them, that the entire fight would be lost. Like, they have to aim it so perfectly that perhaps then I could have a disadvantage. However, to aim perfectly, you usually need a few seconds, and those few seconds could prove like too much for their field to be able to handle, because I'm just dishing out skills one after another. Anyways, that's pretty much it for this video, and pretty much most of the players I have mentioned, they are all using Rufio, and they have some decent like researches up to 300 to like 350. I think one or two has 400, and like too many people fall into this trap. Now I'm not saying, hey, just dismiss this hero, he's weak and he's useless and whatever, right? You have to deck this hero out so, how can I say, you have to invest in this hero so friggin' much, and because of you investing so much in this hero, you can easily just lose the fight because the enemy has a very strong backline. And that is the thing, like not many people take into consideration the equipment that other, let's say, heroes have. So not many players use the dragon set from the generals, which says the morale of nearby troops will not collapse for 20 seconds at the start of the battle, which means that if a Rufio would jump on them, right, that they will not run away, and if they don't run away, they're all standing and fighting. So yeah, the Rufio can do a lot of damage, however I am Rakan and I can out-heal the damage. And they don't die because of a draconic ability, which as you know is called the Undying Army, and they just out-heal and they're full HP, with Rufio doing nothing whatsoever. So pretty much that's it for this video. I think this is like the more expanded example of what happens when you misuse a Rufio, or you have a Rufio, you're using him but it's not very well decked out, or your field is not able to keep the Rufio alive. Thanks for watching guys, and stay safe out there.